The thoughts, opinions, and general overall shades thrown on High at 9 News are those of the individual speakers and not those of High at 9 News, its audience, or its advertisers. The statements made do not constitute medical, legal, or financial advice, and for advice tailored to your specific situation, please consult with a licensed professional. Welcome to the High at 9 News Hour, where you will hear from cannabis industry experts and professionals from around the country talk about important topics while shining light on global issues and discussing cannabis as it relates to politics, regulation and reform, data and technology, science, research and medicine, family and parenting, art, celebrities and entertainment, fitness, sports, mental health and wellness, and plant-based medicines and entheogenics. Together, we are building a stronger community, fighting the stigma and creating change. With your hosts, Jason Beck and Rico Lamitte, joined by special industry expert correspondents from around the country, and daily antics brought to you by Cannabis. Coming to you live every Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. Pacific time and high noon on the East Coast. And thank you all for getting high at 9 with us. Yeah, good morning, everybody. That's right. It is Wednesday, February 5th. That's right. It's hump day, you guys. And today, oh man, you guys are going to love this one. Man, this is an interesting one. I'm shocked that this is a national day. Are you guys ready for this?
I'm ready for it, Jason. Come on. I already seen it. in there.
Shower with a friend day today.
What?
Yeah.
I'm kind of torn on that one because I'm like, yo, is this just like a metaphor for going in there with a toy?
I just, you know what, I'm so confused by it. You know what I mean? I don't know if this is for like athletes or something. You know what I'm saying? Or if this is for.
Does that make it better?
Yeah, just because.
Well, no, I'm saying because like in men's gyms and women's locker rooms and whatnot, you know what I'm saying? Like there's generally like just straight shower stalls. There isn't really like doors and everything else like that.
You go to the YMCA because my gym definitely has.
I don't go to the YMCA, but when I was in high school, we had showers and it was one big ass area of showers.
Yeah. We didn't have to take showers in our high school. They didn't make us do that.
Okay. I think Jerry Sandusky put an end to all that.
Oh man, Rico.
Lube them up.
Yep. I was just
ripping in the tearing.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was interesting. That is for sure, you guys.
I think Jason's got a friend in mind.
I have lots of friends in mind, Sohum, that's for sure.
Friend of mine.
They're all female friends. That's right. They're all hot. But it's also
friend in need is a friend indeed.
That's all right. Speaking of other wet things, you know what I'm saying? It's also National Weatherperson's Day today.
It is a rainy day here in Los Angeles.
Bro, it's rainy out here too. It's cold.
Is it?
It's cold, damp, and drizzly.
Yeah, like the cloud hovering above Washington right now.
I don't know. Wouldn't say that. I'd say it's a bright and sunny cloud hanging over Washington right now with the defunding of UAID. I'm a big fan of that. But
it wouldn't be a cloud then, would it? If it was bright and sunny.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, there can still be clouds if it's sunny. It's just not a rain cloud, bro. There's the cumulus clouds, oculus clouds, all of those. You know what I'm saying? Yes. It's also, thank you all for joining us and getting high at 9 with us. It's also high noon on the East Coast. And please remember to like, share, and subscribe to us on all social media platforms. You can look up above and down below to see exactly where we live on the internet. And we are live every Monday through Friday on YouTube, Rumble, Twitch, X, Instagram, Facebook. And we are now on LinkedIn and Kick as well as our very own website at www.highat9news.com. So thank you all for joining us from any one of those platforms, you guys. And we are going to kick this thing off with the dope dad himself, Mr. Rico Lamitte, the Quasimodo caretaker, the man that has a bad hair day and just says, I don't care. That's right. It is the dope dad himself, Mr. Rico Lamitte.
Jason, you got such an obsession with black people's hair, but I'm gonna let that one go today.
I
am excited. Super Sunday 2025 is just a few days away. And whether you're rooting for the NFL Referees Association favorite Kansas City Chiefs or the people's team, Philadelphia Eagles, or you just don't give a damn either way, because chances are, if you are watching the game, there's been no better time in American history to load your Super Bowl up with a champion dose of your favorite consumable.
I see what you did.
Marijuana. Thanks to an unprecedented number of U.S. states and cities opening up to legalization and decriminalization, the need for years-long potheads to explain how much safer Super Sunday sessions are than the traditional path to puking and pissing yourself silly before passing out and pretending to sober up before that inevitable sketchy-ass drive home. It's now a thing of the past. MJ Biz Daily staff writer Chris Casaccia took a deep dive into the expanding relationship between commercial cannabis promotions and educational activities becoming more of the norm in the NFL. And as a former secret smoking player who almost, made it to the league, I was here for all of it. Casaccia started off highlighting the fact that cannabis businesses are leveraging the Super Bowl to boost brand awareness like never before. Listed some of the top Super Sunday themed promos across the nation that he has seen so far, and included Arizona-based Mint Cannabis has already received more than 200 orders for infused pizza for game day. The company operates one of the nation's only state licensing kitchens allowed to infuse marijuana in prepared foods. The cafe inside its Guadalupe retail store in suburban Phoenix draws global visitors, according to co-owner and chief operating officer Raul Molina. From February 7th to the 9th, patrons can order the Mint's Big Game Meal Deal for $49.95, which includes 2 pizzas, 8 wings, and 4 cupcakes. Each pizza and wing order is infused with 100 milligrams of THC. Good God. And each cupcake contains 10 milligrams of THC. Our Big Game Meal Deal is really popular. Our customers look forward to it every year. Hope they're not driving home.
They're not cupcaking around, Rico.
Right? Other cafe options, such as sandwiches, tacos, and sides, contain up to 100 milligrams of THC for recreational consumers. THC potencies are uncapped for medical patients in the state. Double dip. Next up was Good News Cannabis, who Casaccia says is dipping into condiments again after a successful rollout last year of its marijuana-infused buffalo sauce. He noted that the Cresco Labs brand this year is partnering with Boston chef and restaurateur Asia May to develop a THC-infused Asian barbecue wing sauce. All I had to do was bring my sauce strengths to the table while relying on Good News to totally elevate the game by bringing their expertise and resources with THC infusion, May told MJ Biz Daily via email. It might actually help mellow out that overly aggressive sports fan we are all friends with too. Added Jason Erks, spokesperson for Chicago-based multi-state operator Cresco. And I don't know about your friends nationwide, but if you have a sports fan friend in Chicago, they are that person. It doesn't matter who it is. They're all out of control. It might be actually, and last year, Good News partnered with 50/50, a Chicago sports bar known for its award-winning wings, to launch a cannabis-infused buffalo wing sauce. The Big Game sauce contains 100 milligrams of THC, was a viral hit, quickly selling out of its units at select Sunnyside dispensaries in Illinois. Good News is selling the sauce again this year at select Sunnyside stores in Illinois and Massachusetts. And for those closer to the game action in New Orleans, stores in Bickell, or Bickle, maybe you guys correct me there. I don't know. I'm not a Nolans native there. We'll have an activation near Bourbon Street at the Sports Illustrated party at Mardi Gras World, where attendees can take Delta 9 flower hits from their popular Volcano vaporizer, something I personally advise against after my own lackluster experience taking Delta 8 rooftop hits in ATX with Stone Slade a while back. I know D8 and D9 are different, but I'd skip the experimentation and stick to the shit that I know will get me where I need to be. All right. But yeah, multi-state operator Good Day Farm, one of Louisiana's 2 medical marijuana cultivators, is sponsoring a celebration February 8th at the H&W dispensary in New Orleans, featuring live music, giveaways, games, and second line parade. In other NFL-related news, Jeter scored a high-profile collab with Gridiron legends and legendary stars and cannabis entrepreneurs Ricky Williams and Calvin Johnson to release a limited edition collector's pack in marijuana pack in Arizona, California, Massachusetts, and Michigan that includes exclusive pre-rolls and packaging celebrating the NFL greats. Casaccia closed out by asking whether the NFL's new cannabis policy was already outdated. Despite a growing list of current and former football players who talk openly about cannabis consumption in the league and its benefits to their health and recovery, the NFL has been far less receptive to overhauling its marijuana policies, unlike other professional sports leagues. Under the NBA's collective bargaining agreement signed in 2023, players can hold minority investments in cannabis companies, and marijuana was eliminated from the prohibited substance list altogether. While the NFL and its players union in December amended their substance policy to increase THC thresholds and minimize financial penalties associated with marijuana tests, but they failed to eliminate punishment completely. He said that cannabis executive and former NFL lineman, and I must also note, a friend of mine and former University of Virginia Cavalier, go Who's, Eugene Monroe, Big G, believes that the policy is behind the times. Here's what he had to say. We know it's a substance that you should be recommending for athletes and also educating them on best practices for various injuries or ailments. Said Monroe, the first active player to advocate for cannabis research. Today, he's the co-founder of New Jersey-based vertically integrated marijuana company Collective 60 and chief operating officer for House of Kush, a cannabis brand specializing in genetics and legacy strains. He's also a partner of my good friend, my close friend, Leo Bridgewater. He also added that athletes understand that cannabis is a better option than the pharmaceuticals that they've been provided, and it's an alternative. It's embarrassing that the NFL is stuck in the mud on this issue, and we need to move past this. I couldn't agree with you more, brother. Great upbeat article by Casaccia. Make sure that y'all check out the full piece at high9news.com. And I'm Rico Lamitte, washed up ex-football player, but still the dopest dad on the street for High 9 News. Super Sunday's coming up, y'all. What you got planned for the big game?
Oh, man, wing sales are going to be going through the roof, Rico.
I can't believe, 100 milligrams for an 8-piece.
That's right. That's right. That's 12 milligrams per you know what I'm saying?
Then I need a 6-piece that's unmedicated for after I eat my 8-piece medicated wing.
Oh, look at that. The Southern Belle is here.
You got a piece of 100 milligrams. You got 8-piece with 100 milligrams and 2 cupcakes. They did not list the milligrammage in the cupcakes, but maybe they got 100 each too. So shout out to Mint out in Arizona.
Man, this is.
Are these take and bake pizzas? I'm curious about that. Like, it's like a Papa Murphy's pizza with infused.
They just said they have a kitchen there, and I don't know. I'm gonna look on their website, see if you can. If we have anybody in the chat, you guys out in Arizona, can you eat there? Is it a full
I think they have consumption lounges in Arizona.
Somebody in Scottsdale that I could ask to go check it out.
I would not want somebody eating that much inside my establishment. Take that.
Oh yeah, it's a cafe. Yeah, cafe.
Yeah,
marijuana restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
I love that and all. I love that and all, but you're gonna have to take that Super Bowl special to the house because I don't want to see what happens after some people eat.
Well, it sounds like they're not going to have any bar fights if they're serving this many milligrams in their wings. You know what I'm saying? They're just going to have a bunch of people slumped over.
I don't know if y'all are fans of the Boondocks. I was a big fan of Boondocks, the old cartoon. They had the Luther, and they had the beds set up in there for people who caught the itis. They got to have some beds set up in there because I can see plenty of people going ham on this pizza. And if you're like myself, man, if it's actually good.
Do you say you're putting ham on your pizza?
No, you might go ham on the pizza. If you're like myself and you have one good slice of pizza, you're going to have 2-3 more. And next thing you know, you are passed the fuck out.
Yeah.
I have seen you at a sesh eat pizza, and I can attest to that.
Yes.
You were late for the Butterfly Museum because of the pizza.
There's a reason why I have no bad food at my house except for Oreos.
Oh, man, you guys.
I hope they're giving people rides home.
Right?
Stop laws might be appropriate here. You get somebody so fucked up they can't find their car, and they try to drive home and gave him 100 milligrams of
You really
THC
think people get that messed up off 100 milligrams, Dale? I don't buy that one.
Bro,
Oh, please.
are you kidding me?
Yeah, I don't buy that they're not going to know where their car is. I mean, they may get too tired and like very lethargic, but I don't buy that they're like too fucked up that they can't realize like where they are or where their car is. I'm not buying that.
If they're there to watch the Super Bowl, that shit's 2.5 to 3 hours. Man, they could be passed out.
Yeah, it's a marathon, bro. It's a marathon. You know what I'm saying? The Super Bowl. It's an all day event.
I definitely agree. This is a better consumed at home product.
Straight up.
Yeah.
Don't assume everybody is an established user.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you get some naive person to take a couple 100 milligrams of THC without understanding what it is. They're going to be fucked up, Jim.
Are they
calling an ambulance?
Yeah. Are these pizzas allowed for takeout?
On the website right now. I'm sure they are available for takeout too, but yeah.
Because that would make way more sense to me. That would make way more sense to me than having everybody consume it on site. This just sounds too much liability to me.
It's a Mint Cafe marijuana restaurant.
Omar,
where's it at? What city?
That just sounds like a liability, but
yeah,
I don't know. Maybe they got signs up to say consume at your own risk.
I think you would probably have to, right? Like sign a waiver.
Yeah, I'd have them sign a waiver upon entry. Exactly, Jenny.
Yeah,
I wonder what the serve training looks like for the weed pizza.
I don't know. I mean, if you go to their website, man, some of this food looks good, man. It looks pretty good. They got burgers, infused burgers, they got free tacos. In Tempe?
Oh, it's in Tempe. Okay.
You said it's called Mint?
Yeah, go to just Google Mint Cannabis Pizza, and a bunch of links will pop up. Their SEO is on point.
It's down there near Arizona State Community College.
Perfect place.
Mm-hmm.
That seems like a great place to. Yep.
Keeping it in the community.
Crossfading going on there.
Omar, you've been pretty silent on this one. You have any thoughts on this? What are your what's the legal opinion on this?
Client?
Yeah.
You gonna pick up some new clients after this?
You're on mute, Omar. You're on mute.
He's actively scouting.
Yeah.
I think the liability is tremendous. You know, like you can't guarantee everybody who is consuming the pizza is going to be an experienced smoker or consumer. And so all it takes is like one or two people to like just pass out or just to, you know, and all sorts of evil things can happen when somebody passes out. You know,
I know they can get their eyebrows shaved.
That's right. They can wake up with no eyebrows.
Yeah,
that's right.
It's interesting the way they have their prices here, because they price shit for the milligrams that you add.
To me, tells me there's somebody with
they got They have a 500 milligram infusion available for $50.
500 milligram? God damn.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what. We're gonna keep this train rolling, but before we do want to send a very special happy birthday to one of our very active watchers who's in here every day, Mr. Steve Blessingham. It is his birthday today, and so Steve, we want to send you much love today. We appreciate all of your support and thank you for always tuning in, Steve. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Steve Blazing Ham.
Yes. They should name the pizza after him. The Blazing Ham with, you know what I'm saying?
Yes, yeah. You do love you some pork, don't you?
Oh,
don't
man. You know, Anthony, let's roll. Let's play. I think we got this tested commercial. I think we got this locked and loaded and ready to play. So I want to hear what you guys think about this.
Oh man, your knees still bothering you, man?
Yeah, my left one, you know? But I'll tell you what, I've been using this new CBD cream, and it works like a miracle.
CBDs? I done heard about them CBDs. I was out there on them Twitters the other day, and I heard they get you high as a kite.
Well, not this stuff. This stuff is tested. Every batch, all the way through, pharmaceutical grade, and in a GMP certified facility. So you know you're not going to have to worry about flying high.
GMP certified? I might have to try some of this out. Where I'm even find this?
You go directly to aimhighhemp.com and they will ship it to your door right away. Tested. It's not a name, it's a promise.
Yes, tested. It's not just a brand, it's a promise.
That's right.
Yes.
That's right.
Yes. Love that.
We are back. Oh, man. Up next, it is the highest Republican in every room, known for smoking the best weed in the world. And the man whose left knee is no longer bothering him because he's rubbed it down with some CBD infused tussin.
Provided by Tested. Yes. Oh, yes. Good morning, Rico. Good morning, everybody. Happy hump day. Happy hemp day. All you hempers out there. Well, let me tell you something, man. I have some interesting news coming out of the state of Illinois, you guys. That's right. Illinois officially announces a transition to Metrc for cannabis seed to sale tracking, you guys. On May 16, 2023, Metrc announced that Illinois' plan to award the company a contract for its cannabis seed to sale tracking system. I like how they tried to make it sound like it's an award-winning system, how they worded that. That was cute. But according to a press release issued today by the state of Illinois, the state will transition to Metrc as its new seed-to-sale tracking system for medical and adult use cannabis sometime this summer. The system will introduce RFID tags to track cannabis plants from seed to sale. Unlike other states, Illinois says cannabis businesses will not be charged for these tags. Well, that's like how it is in here in California, too, subject to certain restrictions. The press release also highlighted that Metrc will integrate with point-of-sale systems. And in a quote, they say, "We look forward to this new partnership with Metrc to ensure Illinois continues advancing the safest and most secure cannabis market," said Erin Johnson, Illinois' Cannabis Regulation Oversight Officer. In an additional quote, she says, "We are eager to work alongside the Metrc team to enhance compliance efficiencies, promote industry and consumer education, and bolster public safety to protect the integrity of the most equitable cannabis market in the country." That's a whole bunch of gaslighting right there. The state confirmed that BioTrack, the current seed-to-sale system, will remain in place until Metrc launches. And according to the press release, Metrc provides seed-to-sale tracking in 27 jurisdictions and has training and implementation support services available for industry participants to help with the transition, you guys. Oh man, I know Jenny Beth's going to have a whole bunch to say about this, and I can't believe how these people are gaslighting about how great Metrc is. But nonetheless, I guess there isn't really a better one out there. But nonetheless, I can't wait to hear what you guys have to say.
Yeah,
that's what I was going to say.
BioTrack is stinking fucking garbage, like absolute garbage. So I mean, I'm stoked on this, Jason. Guess who's putting together her Metrc implementation and training ads for Illinois right now?
It's Illinois.
It's Illinois, and Kind Consulting knows how to pronounce your state's name and how to get your system fully integrated. So
a whole lot of noise.
Yeah.
What she's saying is she knows how to silence the S.
Yeah.
Can't silence people without silencing the S.
Here's the thing: when they're talking about how they have trainings available and stuff like that, that's cute and all. Metrc's training is very, very, very basic, and there are a lot of ways people get frustrated with Metrc because they don't know how to use it. They don't have a high level of understanding of how to use it, so they just feel like it's bogging them down. There are some tricks, there are some ways to do things and make it much easier and streamline much better. Also, directly integrating with point of sales is probably a little bit far. So there's API keys that will go back and forth with many point of sales, but as far as a direct integration, one, you don't necessarily love that, right? Because every sales transaction needs to be tracked in Metrc. Now, if your POS system goes down and it's completely tied to Metrc, like there's a way to do this on paper, and then when your POS comes back up, you can reintegrate those sales in, but you're still tracking on Metrc. If you see what happened with Dutchie every 420 for the last few years, right? Like your POS system might not want to be your goal to everything in your business, or you might be sitting there with your whatever you got in your
twiddling
hand.
Your thumbs.
Yeah, twiddling your thumbs. That sounds better. Pissing up a rope.
There you go.
I was going to make a comment about, them being seen as a monopoly and everything. But, you know, we are in the age of monopolies, and I see nothing but more Metrc in the future to come.
Well, and if we move to an interstate system and we move to a federal system straight across the board, we're going to need something that is straight across the board, right? The reason why we have a state-specific track and trace system and people can't track and trace with whatever system they choose is because it needs to be a continuous system that tracks whatever that entire market is. And
look,
go ahead.
I'm gonna push back on the claim that they have a monopoly because, and look, I'm not the biggest fan of Metrc. I don't think it's the greatest piece of software ever made by any means, but there are other options out there. They're just all way worse than Metrc, which is why even other states like Washington started out with BioTrack, Illinois started out with BioTrack, and after a few years of using it, they are so fed up with it they're willing to transition to a new system. So until another company can come out with an alternative to Metrc and BioTrack, and I think MJ Freeway had one, but they initially won in Pennsylvania as well, but I think they lost that contract. But until somebody comes up with a better alternative to any of them, I don't see Metrc going anywhere anytime soon.
What happened to Washington? Washington was supposed to implement their own Metrc alternative because they said Metrc was trash too.
Yeah,
Metrc is trash.
I don't know. I'll have to look into it. I don't have a current update on that. But yeah, they got fed up with Metrc after a few years. Their initial contract went to BioTrack. I think it expired. I think it lasted for like 4 years, 3 or 4 years, and then once that expired, they refused to renew it and awarded it to Metrc. And I think that was similarly like 2 or 3 years. And I think you're right. They were talking about developing their own internal system. Honestly, I think Arizona might have the best rules, though. They don't have any state-mandated system. They just say that you have to track your inventory and report it to the state.
I think that's the best. I agree with that. I agree with you on that, Sohum.
Yeah, just like
that reminds me of the early days in Oklahoma as well, where they just had like literally a web form where you typed in your plants at the beginning of the month, plants at the end of the month, pounds at the beginning of the month, pounds at the end of the month, waste and all that, and that was it.
I'm all about that. Self-reporting. Yep. That's the best. That's the business right there. What do you think about this, Omar?
I think that Metrc having a monopoly disincentivizes research and development and innovation because they got it locked up. They don't really have to compete anymore. And so the product just gets shittier and shittier. And I wish there was some competition. There's been talk about having Meadow as a point of sale system in California. I know that's like dreaming, but we need some competition. I think somebody's got to go hit Metrc for their antitrust. You know, like they have basically become part of the infrastructure for nationwide cannabis, and they're not incentivized to innovate and to provide a better product. They're
exactly right.
Sloppier and lazier.
Exactly right.
I wouldn't be surprised if the current administration did away with the Sherman Antitrust Act. Just saying.
I'm actually going to push back on Metrc right now, and I'm actually going to give Metrc a little bit of a big up on this one because as I'm sitting in Metrc right now making manifests, because I spend a tremendous amount of my day on multiple screens looking at Metrc, they have implemented some things that have just made the user flow a little bit better. They've implemented some different things such as providing an invoice number on transfer so that you're actually tracking things that are going to be state required documents at the same time. They've got this cute little click for immediate like chat support, which they didn't have before because calling Metrc was a ginormous pain in the ass. But there's, if you use it, then it would make sense. The other things that I would explain, I'm going to save those and just say they have made my flow a little bit easier in the past few months. So I do appreciate those new little features and updates that they have thrown in there.
Shout out to Flow.
Easier flows.
Yeah, exactly. Shout out to Flow.
Wow, we should have Saman on here.
Oh boy.
Sohum's better.
Oh God.
So come on, Saman's pretty cool too. Let's not put him down.
If we were making women's menstruation and whatever.
I know what you were doing.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure you knew what we were doing.
Okay? Why are you throwing that on my good friend Sohum over here? He stays out of that stuff.
All right.
Saman can be the master of that.
You have anything you want to throw in on this Metrc deal in Illinois, Dale?
Well, I'm just looking forward to a day where we don't track every gram of cannabis like it's fucking depleted uranium. I think it's a mess. I mean, as much lipstick as Jenny tries to put on the pig, we have a system that's not working.
Yep.
I mean, California, you'd go to distributors and they'd stop looking, and then it just went out the back door. It's like, okay, why is the system there if so much product's moving out the back door? The whole thing is a mess, and cannabis should not be treated like this, but it is. So Here we are. We're talking about a failed system, trying to compare one to the other when none of them really work very well.
Bill's trying to take my job.
Oh, you're going to be all right,
on that
Jenny.
point, though, I would like to point out that the negotiating that happened in Colorado in 2009 and 2010 to establish their first regulated medical system, part of the reason they were able to get that done and get the state to approve it was that they conceded the point on having traceability from clone to sale or from seed to sale, which without that would never have happened. So yes, it sucks. None of these systems are great, but also without that, who knows when we would have actually gotten true regulated for-profit cannabis.
All right.
I think Metrc is a system to track from seed to burner distro, and after that, it's totally ineffective.
Seed to burner distro. Shout out to the burner distros out there, I guess, you guys.
Shout out.
Yes. We're going to keep this rolling while we're talking about burners. We got Dale SCHAFER. That's right. He's been an attorney since the Reagan administration. He's been representing physicians, hospitals, insurance companies, cops, correction officers, and for the last 25 years, he specialized in cannabis law. He served a 5-year federal prison sentence for helping medical marijuana patients and managed to save his law license. He's blunt. Doesn't smoke them. He's honest, unconcerned with public opinion and with yours, and will show you exactly how to piss up a rope. That's right. It is none other your favorite Tio Loco, and you can now find him at his own private practice at the law office of Dale SCHAFER. It is none other than attorney at law, Mr. Dale SCHAFER.
Good morning, everybody. And for those on the East Coast, good afternoon. You're freezing your ass off back there. In California, we're just trying to dry out.
We're cold here too, Dale. It's cold in Orange County.
Yeah, well, cold's a relative thing. My story today comes out of MJ Biz Daily by Chris Roberts. It was published yesterday. The headline is Pennsylvania governor again asked state lawmakers to legalize adult use cannabis. Josh Shapiro is trying to wave the banner of, oh, we're going to make a lot of this tax money, and it's all going to Ohio and Maryland and New Jersey and New York, and we need it here. The democratically controlled House there is all for it. Republican-controlled Senate's not. And what they're proposing, again, is a 20% tax. Call it a wholesale tax. Now, they haven't been paying attention, which it sounds like they haven't been. Overtaxing kills the industry. And for those of us here in California, we're looking at July busting our excise tax up to 19%. And there are some groups in the state who want to impose a potency tax as sort of a trade-off. Don't raise it from 15 to 19. We'll give you a potency tax. I think all of that is horse shit. If you don't take a look at this industry and how much it's taxed and how brave that has made this industry, you're just not paying attention. In California, we got the cultivation tax gone, but still the 15% excise tax, in addition to every local jurisdiction adding taxes onto this, cost of regulation. The industry is circling the drain once again. And, you know, Shapiro, they're touting him as a 2028 candidate for president. Okay. I don't know that this is a way to win the hearts and minds of anybody because taxing and regulating cannabis seems to be okay for both sides of the aisle here, where the Republicans used to scream and yell about regulation and taxes. So what I'm seeing here is Shapiro is trying to sell once again that, oh, if you do this, you're going to make all this tax money. And perhaps you should take a look around the country where they overtax this, and you see that the tax revenues are just not stable, they're not dependable. And the reality is, if you do not open up and green light this industry, the trap wins. You don't get shit out of that for tax money. In fact, it's a drain on law enforcement dollars to have to go out and try and enforce against the trap. So it looks to me like Shapiro is playing some games here. because I don't see how a 20% tax is sustainable. Now, I could be wrong. I'm happy to be proven wrong. But coming out of the gate with that high a level of tax is just a recipe for disaster. They'll learn what a burner distro is, and Trap will just smile to wherever they bury their money. I'm going to throw this back at you. What do you all think?
Yeah, 20% wholesale tax is a great way to have your state flooded with cannabis from California.
Exactly.
Or they'll just do like they're doing right now and go to New York and New Jersey.
Yeah,
all my Jersey clients love their Pennsylvania patients.
Isn't New York and aren't they pretty highly taxed as well?
No, but you can get the best California.
Yeah, you can. They got plenty of other options there. Yeah. You just walk into the local liquor store. You don't even need to worry about looking for a dispensary. Yeah. In New York.
Well, they ain't getting tax money off that either. Okay, that's just the stupidity of these arguments. You make the taxes so high, you don't collect tax money because people don't go to these stores. And they talk about, around those 4 states around are 60% coming from Pennsylvania. We are inside the state spending money in the trap.
Yep.
Nobody wants to talk about that. That's the problem you got to fix. If you can make this available to the public in a way where it's tested and it's relatively clean and you know what you're getting, then you will get tax money because people will pay, if nothing else, a sales tax for it. But they still look at us as this is an industry that's got money everywhere. We're just going to take the cream off the top. The problem is the margins are so small, there's no more cream left on the top. You're taking from people's revenues they need to pay taxes, to pay their overhead. And the next thing you know, it's like, hey, I got 100 extra pounds here, and people will pay me $4,000 if I take it over to New York. And it's, $500 a pound here. So what are you going to do? You're going to survive. And the mentality of the industry has always been, we're going to survive, whatever it takes. You have a lot of highly disagreeable people in this industry that tell them they can't do something. The answer is, yeah, fuck you, just watch me. Okay? So here we have another setup for another failed system. Thank you, Josh Shapiro, for having your head up your ass and not understanding that you're just killing the industry and putting the burners under the black market, and they just love it.
I'm sure John Fetterman took a big bong rip in response to this and let everybody know if this goes through, he's got plenty of product in his basement.
It makes him more loquacious, right, Omar?
Yeah.
That's right.
Get that baked in.
Yeah.
He seems like somebody that would be in favor of a 20% cannabis tax.
Who, John Fetterman?
Yeah.
Why do you say that?
Because he lives in his parents' basement.
No. Why do you really think that? Why do you really think that, Sohum?
Man, bro.
Because he's actually one of the more level-headed Democrats.
Yeah. See, the fact that you call him level-headed is exactly my point.
Yeah, you're right.
He's not a real Democrat. He ran as a Democrat. There's been rumors that there was a
he wears sweatshirts on the floor. He's a Democrat.
No, he does not. He wears hoodies. So keep it a buck.
He's a dino. Democratic name only, right?
Oh, that's fun. That's cute.
I saw somebody describe him, and I thought it was really, apt. They said that he is somebody that grew up in privilege, because I believe he went to Harvard and grew up in an upper middle class family, but is cosplaying as somebody who is a working class person, and that really hit home for me. I think that's very accurate.
Yeah, he said he was living in his parents' basement. He failed to divulge that his parents' basement is 10,000 square feet.
Wait, not another middle class citizen, right? In politics.
No, I mean, I don't have any issue with that. The point is him cosplaying as if he's like, he came from a working class background.
I'm just referring to the other presidential candidate who also cosplayed as a middle class citizen. I grew up in a middle class home. Okay.
What the hell is middle class these days?
Right.
I thought it doesn't exist. I mean,
Kamala actually did. Her dad was like a college professor.
Stop it. Kamala was not even close to that. Not even close to that, bro. Sohum,
you're a Marxist college professor. I don't want to get that far down a rabbit hole. That was my bad for bringing it up. I just thought, people are cosplaying as middle class, but we're trying to also say that the Republicans killed the middle class already. So I don't know what it is anymore, Rico. And
It can be, I know, and that's why I teed that up. You know, it can be whatever you want it to be, just like a Republican, whatever you want it to be, just as long as you bend the knee to Trump.
Stop it. Ain't nobody bending knees, bro. It's just,
I mean, Jason,
you're right. They're down on both knees.
Yeah.
Somebody's putting some sand in that Vaseline too.
well, thank God to tested CBD cream. Jason can now bend his left knee again. So, I mean, we'll
That's
see
right.
what happens. I mean,
Drill, baby, drill. Get that petroleum jelly up.
Ew, Rico.
Oh boy, you guys are funny. You guys are funny. Well, we are going to keep this train rolling. We are going to roll out. So I'm going to try playing a commercial now, Anthony, and we're going to see if this works.
Are you a business that's suffering from the hyperinflation that is plaguing America today? We have the solution for you. That's right, Patriot Business Financing. Head on over to www.patriotbfc.com and apply for a loan up to $2 million. Any state, any industry, even the cannabis industry, the CBD industry, as well as the industrial hemp fiber industry. Secure up to $2 million today, and make sure that when you apply, you tell Paul you said hi from High at 9.
Said it's real. There's absolutely zero
and we
evidence.
are back. Stop whatever you're doing. Make sure you smash that like button. Pow, pow, pow. Oh, man. Make sure you smash that like button. I know you'll appreciate it. We'll appreciate it. And YouTube will appreciate it. Also, make sure you subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed already. And all of the articles that we cover on today's show, you can read directly on our website at www.highat9news.com. And I do want to give a personal shout out to the Cole Memo, who originally wrote the piece that I covered today on Illinois. And thank you so much for that, Mr. Cole Memo.
Are you a business that's suffering from the hyperinflation that is plaguing America today? We have the solution.
I'm Cole Preston, and today I'm at Blue Island Beer Company for the premiere of my mini documentary on legalization policy in Illinois. I've been following cannabis policy since colorful Colorado legalized it all the way back in the day. And when my home state of Illinois decided to legalize it, I just became an
Bad hair day.
And we are back, you guys.
Oh, yeah, y'all. Up next and straight out the ATX, Jason, is a man with over a decade of cannabis technology experience. Recently moved his talents down to Texas, also known to many as ATX. Again, Jason. Refocus his grind to include a product focus on professional athletes. And I'm here to trigger Jason a little more. Is none other than Sohum.
You mean I already triggered Sohum already? You didn't hear all that reaction?
Silence.
I wasn't triggered. I was totally fine. I think you were triggered because you realized that whatever information you're reading is just complete bullshit.
I only read the truth.
Jason hairline trigger back.
You only read Truth Social. That's
the truth. That's why it's called that.
All right. Well, we're gonna talk about apparently federal drug testing. According to our shadow president, Elon Musk says mandatory drug testing for federal workers is a great idea as his DOGE agency seeks spending cuts under Trump. Elon Musk, chair of the Trump administration's newly formed Department of Government Efficiency, which I would like to add, is not a real government department. It has no congressional mandate. It has no congressional approval. It's just a name that they came up with. He says it's a great idea to mandate drug testing of federal employees as he pushes to make massive cuts to government agencies and spending. In a Twitter post on Saturday, Joshua Steinman, a former National Security Council, or NSC official who served during Donald Trump's first term, tagged DOGE and asked whether the department has considered a federal workforce-wide mandatory immediate drug test. Great idea, Musk replied. Some federal employees and contractors are already required to submit to pre-employment drug testing through random screenings of workers, though random screenings of workers are generally reserved for those select safety-sensitive or national security-related positions. But as a billionaire works to cull the federal workforce, he's evidently compelled by the idea of increasing drug testing, ostensibly in hopes of identifying workers who could be terminated for cause. That's despite the fact that Musk himself has previously gotten into hot water after puffing a marijuana joint on Joe Rogan's podcast while owning a federally contracted aerospace company, SpaceX. He later claimed he never inhaled. The DOGE chair has also disclosed his use of ketamine, and he said in 2021 people should be open to psychedelics. A lot of people making laws are kind of from a different era, so I think as the new generation gets into political power, I think we will see greater receptivity to the benefits of psychedelics, he said at the time. Musk also said he feels CBD from cannabis is overhyped and, quote, doesn't do anything. Senator Elizabeth Warren, a Democrat from Massachusetts, recently urged Musk to target unnecessary federal enforcement against marijuana consumers and businesses as a key way to reduce spending by the federal government. Last year, ahead of the November election, a political committee opposing a marijuana legalization measure in Florida, a ballot initiative that ultimately fell short of the passage, it received a $500,000 contribution from an organization that Musk reportedly used to quietly support Governor Ron DeSantis before he dropped out of a 2024 presidential race. Meanwhile, Trump's choice to serve as Director of National Intelligence, or DNI, former Representative Tulsi Gabbard of Hawaii, said last week that past marijuana use should not disqualify a person from receiving a security clearance, but ongoing use of cannabis is a more complex eligibility concern. Also, although the use of Schedule I drugs like marijuana by federal government workers remains prohibited under a 1986 executive order from then-President Ronald Reagan, some attorneys have scheduled that if cannabis is moved to Schedule III, as is currently being considered by the Drug Enforcement Administration, that could lift the restrictions based on how, quote, illegal drugs are defined under the order. You can read the article in full on the website. I think it's very interesting that drug testing, you could see how you might think that it would reduce spending by being able to terminate employees, but somebody's going to be paying for that drug testing, and guess what? It'll be the federal government. And I also think it's very ironic that Elon Musk is the one pushing for this when we could see him tripping his balls off behind Trump at the inauguration. So let's kick it back to the rest of the team. This is Sohum Shah from the ATX reporting for High at 9 News. Let's see what everyone else has to say.
I don't understand
Crazy how his alleged prolific drug use is the reason why he can't even get a government clearance.
I don't understand why you always shortchange your city by calling it ATX. His name is awesome.
How is that short?
I don't know why that triggers you so much, Jason.
Right. Jason's snowflake.
I don't know on a show where we run behind every day, where we always have to spend time talking about ATX or Austin. But moving along to this, somebody would have to pay for those drug tests. Drug tests are going to be a lot cheaper, though, than a federal salary. I just think that the whole thing's ridiculous.
Elon Musk is ridiculous.
You guys are cute.
It's hypocrisy. It's hypocrisy. And I don't have a problem with for-cause testing. Something happens and it looks reasonable. You were fucked up operating a machine or driving or something like that. For the rest of it, why? You can consume alcohol and nobody seems to give two shits about that. With this, it's a national security problem, and it's prejudicial. It's based upon racial discrimination and ideas that you're an immoral person if you smoke a blunt, which is just absolutely ridiculous. Get a warrant or leave these fucking people alone.
I agree with you, but at the same time, like I don't want government employees sitting there like doing work high on meth and other things like that. So I think there needs to be some sort of something in there.
Come on, Jason, stop the cab. We know pretty much every major illegal drug will be out of your system within 2 to 5 days, except guess which one? Cannabis. So by advocating for this policy, you are indirectly.
But hold on. But if
be terminated for testing
the whole thing,
you think they're going to exclude cannabis from it?
Hold on a second. I think they should exclude cannabis from it. But I do think that there is a need to be able to drug test employees, especially that work for the government, because they're benefiting off of the tax dollars and they're working for the overall people. They're not working for a private company.
Nobody's going to fight on that. Impaired workers are impaired. Impairment is impairment. Nobody's saying you have a right to be impaired at work. That's a ridiculous paper tiger. We're talking about off-work use of controlled substances. And if you're not impaired at work, it's not anybody's business what you do off work, off duty.
Well, hold on real quick, Sohum. Omar, in relation to that, I disagree with that. For some certain types of different government jobs, especially national security types issues and whatnot, what you do off the job does and can affect what you do during real time. And so
that's a really good point, because Pete Hegseth is blackout blind drunk when he's not on the job.
That's not true.
That can affect what he's doing as Secretary
That's
of
not
Defense.
true.
So that's the premier national security sensitive position. And so you're saying that what Pete Hegseth does when he drinks, when he's not formally at work, that affects his work performance.
Well, if we're gonna classify alcohol as a drug, then I don't really necessarily have a problem with that. But we're not classifying alcohol as a drug.
Alcohol is a drug. Like many drug substance abuse treatments call it alcohol and other drugs. It's one of many drugs.
It might not be scheduled by the Controlled Substances Act, but it is absolutely a drug.
I don't know if I'm buying that one, but okay.
I don't know, man. I thought.
So wait, how about the president? The president should be drug tested.
Like, why are we creating like more rules and more restrictions in the age of freedom? And how is this pushing our food prices down? You know, how is this battling inflation? Like, this is like more bullshit to distract us from the fact that we have a full-time jack move going on in Washington right now by an unelected official who can't even get his own clearance.
Oh, God.
Through the door.
I mean, he's doing a lot for us right now.
Do you not have a problem with him having access to Treasury computer systems?
Nope, I don't. You know why? Because he's saving us all money.
Official?
He's saving us all kinds of money, bro. I'm all the way with it. I'm all the way with it. The fact that we
completely delusional.
No, you are delusional, Sohum.
Well, how is he saving us money though?
What money is he saving?
All of this government waste, he's exposing it, and it's all getting canceled. Thank God.
What waste?
Tons of waste. Well, first of all, UAID is 100% waste, and that just got canceled yesterday.
Contractors. Why doesn't he go after the military?
Yeah, go after the PMCs.
That's where the waste is.
Maybe government contractors are tomorrow, you guys. Maybe government contractors are tomorrow. There's so much waste going on in the government that you got to start somewhere, Omar.
He doesn't like USAID because of what USAID did.
It's Democratic fundraising slush fund machine, money laundering machine.
True.
It is true.
That's a very often debunked right-wing talking point. It is not a money laundering machine.
It is a money laundering machine.
That is completely asinine.
Right, but at the same time, yes, USAID is not perfect. Does it need reform? Yes. Is there abuse of people who become dependent on all of the foreign aid? Absolutely. It's created a full infrastructure, but there's an even bigger grift happening, and that's the defense industry. That's completely dependent on U.S. taxpayers. That gets funded orders of magnitude more than USAID. If you're looking for waste, start there.
Well, you are right about that too, Omar. And I have seen them find a number of different wasteful spending things. Like they were spending like $2,500 on paper cups over there at the Pentagon, and so that has been totally eliminated. And there's been a few other things that they found as far as government waste. So I do agree with you on that. Overall, that there is plenty of waste going on over there.
What about
all the private defense contractors who get paid top dollar while our military service men and women are underpaid, barely getting by, living in poverty? Why is it that way? Why should our military be living in poverty and the private contractors be living in ostentatious wealth? It should be the other way around.
I mean, I don't think anybody should be living in poverty if they're working their ass off, and that's a huge problem. But I also think, look at the fact that our military personnel are paid so poorly, but USAID was being used to fucking fund Politico.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Politico
throwing a hand grenade and blowing the shit up is just not a way to deal with this. You're going to lose very many good people who actually are instrumental in running these agencies. I don't care if you fold many of them together, take care of the redundancy of managements and things like that. I think that's a great idea. But just rolling grenades in and blowing shit up, I don't see where that's going to. It's going to create a mess at some point.
I'm surprised Rico isn't a bigger fan of this because he's always. Go ahead, Omar.
It's a distraction. They're going to try to grift the Treasury. That's why they go straight into the Treasury system. You know how many trillions of dollars the U.S. government controls? I mean, just knowing those money flows allows somebody to manipulate the financial market.
And that's what the Democrats have been doing for centuries.
Money from heading. They're trying to game the system, and it's all a big distraction. So we got to keep our eye on the money. That's what happened in Viktor Orban's Hungary. They did all sorts of outrageous craziness. to try to distract the population while they rob them blind. So let's keep our eyes on the money, follow the money.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's Rico. But Rico's all about following the money, and he's all about just blowing the whole thing up and starting all over.
It's hard to follow the money when you have an unelected official just like locked everybody out the system.
Oh God!
And then you fire all the watchdogs.
I'm all for it. I think it's fantastic.
It's a constitutional crisis.
No, it's not. You're putting a bunch of wool over the eyes of those in charge of watching the shit, bro. Like just keep it a buck.
Just so you know, for the record, I am loving it. I'm loving every single second of this. And
yeah, but imagine this, Jason. If it was the other way around, if it was an unelected,
it has been the other way around.
Acting on behalf of a Democratic president,
it has been the other way around.
This is the definition of
USAID, which
shadow.
It has been the other way around. George Soros has been pulling strings forever, bro. Just is doing the same thing, just not as in front and transparent to the American people. It is.
That is not the same thing.
One person talk at a time. God damn it!
Yeah, you guys are arguing over each other.
That's not the same thing. But the point is, USAID was created by an executive order and then codified by Congress. It should not be able to be defunded or obliterated without an act of Congress. That is how our Constitution works. What happened to Republicans being the party of constitutional originalists? Like, this is crazy. Crazy that you are that you're okay with this.
I'm totally fine with it because it needs to go. It's got to go. And speaking of that, we're going to go into our next commercial. And Anthony, I'm going to try to play this aim high thing from the Stream Deck real quick. Hold on. I'm going to see if this plays again. No, it's not. It's not playing. It is not playing. Yeah, go ahead and play it. We're going to play them one more time.
Oh man, your knees still bothering you, man?
Yeah, my left one, you know? But I'll tell you what, I've been using this new CBD cream, and it works like a miracle.
CBDs? I done heard about them CBDs. I was out there on them Twitters the other day, and I heard they get you high as a kite.
Well, not this stuff. This stuff is tested. Every batch, all the way through, pharmaceutical grade, and in a GMP certified facility. So you know you're not going to have to worry about flying high.
GMP certified? I might have to try some of this out. Where I'm even find this?
You go directly to aimhighhemp.com and they will ship it to your door right away. Tested. It's not a name, it's a promise.
Or when they shut the fuck up, let one person talk at a time.
Speaking of that, we are back. And coming in next, that's right, it is none other than Mr. Sohum Shah. Sohum has spent more than a decade. Oh wait, we already did Sohum, son of a bitch. My bad. My bad. I apologize.
All that gaslighting, man, got you all worked up.
Sorry.
Got him a little lightheaded.
Yeah, we're gonna fly into the high flying jiu-jitsu sparring lawyer who knows how to kick ass in court and kick ass on the mat. That's right. He's coming up from the 707. And he's been also my criminal defense lawyer back in the day. That's right. Is none other than Mr. Omar Figueroa.
Thank you. Thank you, Jason. My story. Happy National Fart Day, everyone.
What?
Yeah.
It's really National Gaslighting Day, you're saying.
My story is from WSMV 4 in Nashville by Caleb Wethington. The headline is, Bills introduced to legalize recreational and medical cannabis in Tennessee. Tennessee lawmakers are making another push to legalize recreational and medical cannabis in the volunteer state. On Tuesday, Senator Jeff Yarbrough, Democrat of Nashville, introduced SB 0809, which is the Tennessee Cannabis Act. The act is an amendment to allow for personal or recreational cannabis use while creating rules for dispensaries to produce, distribute, and sell cannabis products. The act allows an adult, someone 21 years of age or older, to personally use, possess, and transport marijuana, but no more than 60 grams of it. It would also allow for the personal cultivation of no more than 12 marijuana plants in an adult's home, as long as they're in a secure area. Marijuana dispensaries would also be permitted to grow and sell cannabis products in Tennessee. Alongside the Tennessee Cannabis Act is the Tennessee Medical Cannabis Act, which was brought forth by Representative Iris Rutter, Republican from Winchester. HB 0872 is the Tennessee Medical Cannabis Act, which would authorize access to medical cannabis on a regulated basis for patients with qualifying medical conditions. It also would allow for the production, distribution, and sale of medical cannabis in the state. The broad purpose of the Tennessee Medical Cannabis Act is to increase low-cost public health options, alleviate suffering, develop agricultural business, incentivize research of THC benefits, and expeditiously license and track medical cannabis from cultivation to point of sale within the boundaries of the state, the bill reads. The headline is, Bills Introduced to Legalize Recreational and Medical Cannabis in Tennessee. And my take is, I look forward to watching Beyonce perform Cowboy Carter at Ryman Auditorium, the church of country music, while higher than them Tennessee pines. This is Omar Figueroa, lawyer, publisher, and ganja instructor, reporting from Sonoma County, California, the traditional territory of the Pomo, Miwok, and Wapo nations, for High at 9, high noon Eastern. What did the other correspondents think?
Oh man, Tennessee!
I can't wait for Jenny Beth to get all pissed about Cowboy Carter. Go ahead.
No,
album of the year, Cowboy Carter. Let's just put some respect on it.
Listen, JC, just set JC back a pretty penny. I'd love to see the transfer, the condom purchase that paid for that, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I was just gonna say, much like, you know, when they say fish fans say when the drugs wear off, the music sucks, man. Maybe, you know, being able to be high as shit in Tennessee will help you get through this ain't Texas.
Oh boy. I mean, you know who I want to know? I want to know what was their name? Arrested Development thinks about this, because I think they need to come back with a whole song about this. Smoking weed in Tennessee.
You know what I want to do? I want to get high and go to Dolly World. That sounds like a good time.
Oh yeah.
Dollywood, sorry, not Dollywood.
Oh man.
I don't know, man. Darius Rucker got the hell up out the country.
That's the other thing I was gonna say. He's feeling pissed right now. He's like, damn it, where was this energy 2 years ago?
Yeah. Right.
I think this is great for Tennessee. You know, and Tennessee has to do this through this way. I'm all for it. It seems for the most part, just at first glance from this story, that it's a reasonable bill overall, right, Omar? Like that, and so
and allows home cultivation.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. And so to me, I hope this is ultimately able to pass and move forward. But we will definitely be following this as this develops out there in the great state of Tennessee. That's for sure.
I don't think there's going to be any border states that. I was going to say, I don't think there's any states that border Tennessee that have recreational, is it?
I mean, Virginia was supposed to 4 years ago, but you know, Republicans fucked that up.
Oh boy, haters!
Shout out.
They did. They had the whole government, and they didn't do shit.
Mm-hmm.
They did.
What's that, Jenny?
To be fair, the people who vetoed were Republicans.
Go ahead, Omar. What were you gonna say?
Oh, that the allowance of 60 grams would be, you know, very generous, and that's like 2 fat ounces. So can you imagine like walking around Nashville with 2 fat ounces rolled up in a case?
Well, in all fairness, I know a lot of people that smoke a lot of weed in Nashville, so I imagine that would be a good thing, because there's plenty of people walking around with those amounts around Nashville already.
And to take it a step further, man, I know plenty folks that are making a lot of money off of THCA in Tennessee right now, and I'm pretty sure they got more than 2 ounces in their pockets.
So the question is, will the hemp movement out there in Tennessee push back against this bill? Then I guess that's the big question, right?
I would say, given I have a specific insider knowledge, like almost all of these quote unquote hemp shops, they're just waiting for them to switch over to THC. They're already prepared for that. And
so they think they're automatically going to get given licenses because they're already selling THCA. I think that's
been a lot of them, especially the smarter ones, the ones that I've been working with. They future-proof their businesses and they're ready.
Does that make them smarter because they're working with you, Rico? Is that the definition of smarter?
No, I work with them on a different side, but I'm non-plant touching. But no, they future-proofed their businesses, and they're ready to shift over. They've seen a lot of the shit that went down in the other states, like the ones that I've talked to. I can't speak for everybody, but they've seen a lot of shit that go down in the other states, and a lot of the pain was seen with the transition into legal markets because they were caught with their pants down and did not know how to run a business first. A lot of these folks are running businesses. They have been running businesses, and they're making a lot of money. A whole lot of money.
That's been kind of the word of the day today. Transition. I think we've heard that more than any other word today on the show.
How does it make you feel, Jason?
Definitely not like transitioning, Rico. But we will transition to the next correspondent. Are you ready for Miss Jenny Beth Dills, Rico?
Yeah, just gaslight some more. Let's go.
Well, I mean, it's National Fart Day, so you know what I mean? Why not?
Oh my God.
I mean, I didn't know that. That wasn't in my calendar. I wish I would have. Imagine it's National Shower with Your Friend Day and National Fart Day all on the same day, Rico.
You should not fart in the shower with your friend.
I was gonna say, Jason, you should do that. You should do those together.
Whoa, easy there.
It's a metaphor, Jenny Beth, for a sex toy.
Whoa.
You know?
Easy
Gross.
there.
All right. But anyway.
Are you going to introduce Jenny, Rico?
Let's do it.
All right.
He's the founder of Kind Cannabis Consulting. Jenny Beth Dills,
Just go. I'm glad you amuse yourself, Rico.
You know I'm 12 years old. You know I'm a 12-year-old boy in a man's body.
I'll count on you to amuse you. All right. Well, all right. I'm going to keep it short and sweet today.
Amazing.
Because here comes Maryland. A new bill in Maryland can clear criminal records for certain cannabis and misdemeanor charges. The proposed Clean Slate Act would require the state to automatically expunge cannabis possession charges issued before July 1st, 2023, so long as at least 3 years have passed. Certain misdemeanor charges could also be cleared after 7 years. Though domestic-related crimes and second-degree assault would not be eligible, I'd hope not. If passed, all electronic court records of eligible cases would be removed from public view by July 2027, with full expungements beginning in August of that year. This comes after Maryland legalized recreational marijuana in 2023, and Governor Westmore pardoned more than 175,000 cannabis-related convictions last summer, the largest pardon of its kind in U.S. history. A hearing on the Clean Slate Act is scheduled in the state Senate today. So, once again, good news, not good enough, because there's still felonious cases that need to be addressed, and I think those are more difficult, obviously, because, you know, if you have a gun, then that automatically becomes a violent felony. If you whatever, there's a lot more to unpack there. But it's a step in the right direction. I don't totally understand why it's going to take them until July 2027. Seems like in their court systems, they could do a search. It says cannabis or marijuana, or search certain statutes that they have when the charge is listed and filter through that and click delete, hide, Control, Alt, Delete, whatever the fuck they need to click. So I think that the fact that it's going to take that long is questionable. I also think it's weird. I mean, maybe it's taking that long since it needs to be 3 years old and they're growing up to July 1st, 2023. So that would be 2026 before that's eligible. However, I like people taking steps in the right direction. This is definitely important for justice impacted individuals. But it's once again still not enough. So I'll throw it back to you guys. Good news, better than no news, but still not the right news.
It's Governor West.
Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say it's Governor Westmore just following through on more stuff that he said that he would do. I still have a problem with them raising cannabis taxes. We'll see how that pans out. But I think it's a positive step forward.
Yeah, we encountered like this kind of official foot dragging, saying like it's going to be so complicated. We're going to have to rewrite all the laws, and there's so many laws. There's thousands of laws. It's going to take forever. It can't be done. there's a really easy way to do it. The law already has a way to do it. They basically pass a new law that says, notwithstanding any other provision of law, comma, cannabis is legal the way we want it to be legal. And then in a few years, when the Law Review Commission looks at all of the statutes and wants to clean up the law so that it can be codified in a way that's, rational and organized, they can do that work at that point. So this is just a bullshit excuse to drag their feet on legal reform. It doesn't have to take that long. You just pass a law that says, notwithstanding any other law, this is the new law. Done.
Hey, Omar, I think you need to make sure that you add a paren in there, because no good law without it doesn't have a paren. You know what I'm saying?
Of course. What do you think?
Omar, you should be governor of California.
It's just infuriating for those of us who have criminal records for nonviolent crimes that this shit just continues to drag. And Omar, you've dealt with prosecutors, and they do not want to just, take your record. Oh, there was other charges we could have brought against you, blah, 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 blah. Okay, fine. California turned into a form. Fill the form out. Now, the prosecutor has the burden of doing something here. Still, it's too difficult. I don't believe a nonviolent felon should lose their gun rights, period. Okay? And people with nonviolent crimes on their record, especially drug crimes, it should not be that difficult to just take the eraser and wipe the slate. Okay? But it is. And it's because inside law enforcement, there's still a lot of people whose butts pucker up when you talk about, erasing records. They just can't imagine that someone they thought was a criminal at some point in society may decide not a criminal anymore. It just, their asses tighten up so hard, it's hard to even describe. And for those of us waiting for our records to be cleared, because I never lied, cheated, stole, used a gun, used violence or anything like that, I'm still a convicted felon. When is my record going to be clean? And there's a whole lot of us that we didn't get simple possession, get Lori Loughlin time. We got our asses kicked. 5 fucking years for growing 106 plants in 3 years. Come on, man. Really? You can't wipe that shit off people's records? No. And I'm not alone. Drug war ruins so many people, and we need to be able to wipe their records clean and give them a free start. You can't even go rent a house with a criminal record now.
Yeah.
That's just one of the many
they do ask you that.
They tag on you.
You can get a cabinet position though.
Oh yeah. Well, you talk about throwing grenades. I'd love to throw some fucking IEDs in some parts of government because it needs to be blown up. But
see, so you are for that. See, so you. Yep. Good thing. Well, no more UAID.
I have some serious concerns about the overreach of the federal government, especially the Commerce Clause. I made my opinions very clear over the years. They should rein that shit back in. The federal government was supposed to be a limited branch of government. It now has no limits on it. So, yeah, it's got to be reined back in. But taking a meat cleaver and cutting off the heads of people who are good administrators, I don't think is going to solve. You're going to end up with knuckleheads. Lauren Boeberts and Marjorie Taylor Greene's running these agencies.
Well, and at this point, the DOGE, whatever 19 to 24-year-olds have been identified. Don't you think that all of these foreign spy agencies are running operations on these fools now?
Hold on, these foreign spies operations were running things. We had someone that was in Eric Swalwell's office that he was dating for a while. Then we also had someone that was in Dianne Feinstein's office that was
my point that there's active foreign influence operations, and they're now targeting the DOGE dorks.
And Jason, those people were identified and rooted out. That's actually
I don't know about all that, bro. I'm not buying the rooted out, but they were definitely identified. I agree with the identified, but I'm not sure about rooted out. I don't buy that.
I'm looking forward to the age of Marjorie Taylor Greene working directly with Elon Musk to develop Gentile space lasers to take out all of our enemies. How about that, Jason? How about that? Send that to Doge.
I want to buy some stock in Gaza. I want a casino there. Come on.
Oh boy.
Taj Mahal too.
Yeah.
There's got to be a canal. It's the Ben Gurion Canal that was proposed in the 1950s, And now that Gaza has been raised, they can finally complete the canal and bypass the Suez Canal and make a lot of money, just charging for the transit fees. It's estimated $6 billion a year.
It's called the sewer canal, and because it's drained the swamp and pumped it all into the ocean. Let's go.
Well, Rico,
we've offended everybody here, right?
Speaking of going, Rico, are you ready? Are you ready to go? We're basically at the end of the show.
Oh my God. So thank you all for joining us on another episode of High at 9 News. Very lively episode today, I might add. You can catch us live weekdays, 9 a.m. Pacific, high noon on the East Coast. Big shout out to our super fans giving us love and getting their comments posted live on the big screen. Do we have any today, Jason?
No, not today. It's all right.
Sad.
It's all right. It's all right.
Big love to our audience and online supporters catching us across all media platforms, tuning in each day to the headlines of chaos, also known as the developing cannabis industry. Our vetted correspondent team tuning in from all over, even the ATX, Jason. ATX.
Austin.
Bringing us
Stop shortchanging that city, bro. I don't understand why you guys always trying to shortchange that city. It's not respectful.
Right, perspective and your respective opinions to the table. Our production team, Cloud Media Partners, and all of our sponsors keeping the lights on. AV struggle to a minimum. Anthony back there doing the damn thing, kept us live and good to go.
Yeah, great job today, Anthony. Great job.
Yes, pushing buttons like Jason back on a Monday. As always, Cannabis Sativa L, the reason we show up to read these stories every single day. Thank you very much. It has been Wednesday, February 5th, 2025. The show's over. You've all been blessed with the top industry headlines. Hope it's enough for you to put in your pipe and smoke at least until tomorrow. My name is Rico Lamitte, the dopest dad on the street for High at 9 News, cannabis industry's #1 daily news show. We're going to pop things out today to my man, Omar Figueroa, the only man that we need in the White House right now. What you got for us?
You're on mute. You're on mute, Omar. You're on mute. There we go.
All right. My apologies, everybody. So my parting thoughts are: be extra kind to everybody you meet, and also follow the money. Keep your eyes on the ball.
That's right. Yeah. Keep your eyes on the prize, Omar. Secure the bag.
Show up. Don't blow up.
Yep.
That's what Elon Musk said. Secure the bag.
Yep.
From the Treasury.
That's right. Someone's got to do it because the Democrats aren't. They're just going to spend it and blow it. Yeah, go ahead.
A republic, if we can keep it.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Remember that.
Go.